Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare. So settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
You sure? It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the office, and welcome to the morning grind. I'm feeling wild and woolly this morning with hair and beard and everything, but oh well. How is everybody doing? I hope well. Things have been busy over here, as they always are, like Thursday through Saturday. So getting back to the Geekverse side of things. Oh, Mike says, great shirt. Yeah, so I'm wearing Hail the Black Goat to the Woods, the 1,000 Young this morning. So, and actually, I'll go ahead and talk about the shirt. So I have been working with, so our main topic today is the Age of Fantasy Skirmish, which Mike had brought up in the Discord channel. So we're going to take a look at that. But I want to give a little bit of a rundown on everything that's going on as well. So since the shirts have been mentioned, let me go ahead and mention those. I've got a, excuse me, I have got a new printer who I believe is lined up. I was talking about this with this person yesterday for the shirts. For all the shirts for the Cultist Kickstarter. So I had somebody that I was going to use, but then yesterday I happened to find somebody else who might be better, and also actually happens to be more local, so that I can get over there and get the shirts, and also verify quality and all of that before they go out, and don't have to drive forever in order to get them. So on the shirt side, I have got I've got a line on a new printer, so that could happen very soon. I won't have the money for the Kickstarter until probably Thursday. I'm anticipating having that money come in on Thursday. But then, and I want to have some stuff that goes off. So the shirts were kind of a big thing, but I got the line on the printer. I have been working on the layout for Cthulhu's ABCs, and I was almost done with it. I realized that I didn't have the very back pages done and like an author blurb. So I'm going to finish that. I'm going to try to finish that today, and then also get the cover done, because I would like to go ahead and get those uploaded to the printer so that they can go ahead and get the proof made. So at least that will go ahead and start happening. I need to put an update to the Kickstarter about all of this, and so I will do that. It's kind of on the list today. And I also need to send out a general email list. Email to the email list as well. So line on the printer. Here, I'll go ahead and show you what I was going to do. Where's the layout? I really like the layout for Cthulhu's ABCs. Let me share screen. Check this out. So we got Cthulhu's ABCs. Let's see. I need to adjust the size of the screen. There we go. Can you see both of them now? A is for Azathoth. Let's look at it and make sure there isn't any kind of spelling errors again. I was going to look at it with you guys online. So we got Cthulhu's ABCs, created by Heath Robinson. I got the Raven Keep logo over here. For the Thousand Young, Grandmother, We Are Coming, which was in the credits of season 2. Added in some notes. So we're going to start with our singers here, the band here, with the notes being played. A is for Azathoth, with whom all has begun. B is for the Black Goat, with its 1,000 young. C is for cultists chanting on their knees. D is the dark void devouring the seas. E, eldritch eyes appearing from the skies. F is the fear that you'll never disguise. G is for ghouls prowling in the night. H is for horrors hiding out of sight. I is insanity tearing at the seams. J is the journey to places unshown. K is the key to the gates unknown. And then there was a break in the song at that point for a musical interlude. So I went ahead and included those pages in the book as well, and added notes here. L is for lurking by the cyclopean wall. M is the madness that's coming for us all. N is Nyarlathotep, the chaos that will crawl. O is for oceans deep and dire. P is for portals and their burning green fire. And then we have the musical interlude again right here. Q is for quaking as shadows spread. R is for ruins of cities long dead. S is for Shoggoths, slimy and slick. T is for tentacles twisting and thick. U is unknowable, V vast and veiled. W worlds, fragile and frail. X marks the tomb where the old ones lie. Y is for Yog-Sothoth's all-seeing eyes. Musical interlude. More musical interlude. Z is for Zoogs, who whisper and creep. And now Cthulhu's alphabet is complete. In the void, the stars align. Ancient horrors, outside time. In the void, the end begins. All is lost, and chaos wins. In the void, in the void. And then I'm going to put, I was working on getting a QR code. So we can say, listen to the Cthulhu ABC's music video here on the Cultist channel and just put a QR code in there. I don't know why I'd never thought about putting a QR code in a printed book before, but especially for something like the YouTube links and things like that. I think we should just, I should just print out the QR code. So I was working on that, and then I was going to put some of the list of other books and then a author blurb. So that's it. So that's really close. That's really close to being done. Could you, Abel says, could you make And Their Burning Green Fire a larger point size? Oh, could do that. I think it would look better like that. Right over here. We could double it, or was it 72 right here? Think it would look better or something like that, or we could go even higher than that. Maybe that's too big. Something like that, you think? What are people thinking? And Their Burning Green Fire. P is for portals, and Their Burning Green Fire. Let's see. Hey, Stray, good to see you. I don't think I said hi to everybody here. We got Tomocrat. I just jumped right into it. Tomocrat, Mike. I saw BGD. Better with Bacon's here. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. So yeah, that works. Stray says, sign my nightmare. Okay, so great suggestion. Okay, so And Their Burning Green Fire. You know, what if we also tilted that one a little bit? What if we did something like that? I don't know if I like that or not. But okay, so that is so that's the interior is close to done. So I bet I can get this. I bet I could get this done today. Can I even? This particular font may not have a, like, it's now, it only has regular, so I can't italicize it. Okay, so I would love to be able to get that done today. So like I said, we're moving along, because I would like to get everything out for the Kickstarter generally as fast as possible after the money comes in. So if I have we'll have to wait for the prints to be made. But if I could get this uploaded, I'll go ahead and order a proof, get the proof to be made rather. So I'll go ahead and order a proof of that, so that we can go ahead and get it in. It would be great if I could talk to the printer this week. But I'm still going to move through the rewards from the lowest level up to the highest, because the highest become the most complicated. And then, you know, also the highest levels are composed of things from the lowest level. So I'm going to be getting things done from the lowest level up to the highest level. And I'll go ahead and send things out when it's done. I did look up the Clippy thing, Sable. I did look that up, and I watched that video. I guess or maybe you posted in Discord, so I did watch that. Okay, so that is the status basically of the Kickstarter things going on right now. I did also post, did you see the new and revised You Can't Summon Cthulhu with Sour Cream and Onion? So I put that out because I wanted to see again, like, what I could do with the different models. Now, this one, there are lots of dancing witches in it. Let me take this down. if you like dancing goth witches, well, okay. I brought them for this video. So just giving you the warning here. Let's see. Nope, not that. There we go. Okay, so on the Cultist channel, videos, here we go. Let's Summon Cthulhu. I'll put a link to it. It's got 1.2 thousand views on YouTube. Revised, you can't summon Cthulhu with sour cream and onion. There we go. Yes. Say, let's breathe and say, okay, we'll breathe. Don't let me forget to breathe and sit before we start the main look at the skirmish rules. So, Becky said, I could see and feel the frustration you're having with advertising along through the content. Well, I haven't actually tried advertising that one. That one I have not tried advertising, although, of course, there's been frustration before. So, but the tech, because all of this, like VO3 was released after Cthulhu's ABCs. And so I didn't even get to use VO3 on Cthulhu's ABCs. So I started to use that Kling and Midjourney to make this one of the dancing witches. And the tech, like a lot of the times with the Cthulhu's ABCs, I was deliberately having to cut around things that like would decohere. There was a lot of that in that tech. I wanted to have as little decoherence as possible. And I think I basically did that for the Cthulhu's ABCs as little as possible, but I had to do a lot of cutting around different shots. Basically, that only happened once the entire time I was trying to generate the new Let's Summon Cthulhu video. I did about 200 generations, used about 100 generations in that music video. And there are still a few more I want to do. I want to go and do some other projects as well, like main projects. But there are still some experimental music videos I'd like to do. I have a couple of other Muppet ones I want to do, and then another one with the witches in it. But once again, that has been most popular on Facebook. So I posted, if you're following the cultists on Facebook, let's see what the situation here is. So I posted them. Actually, I posted on Facebook a day after I posted to YouTube. And is this current? Yeah. So on YouTube, on Facebook, I posted the first 30 seconds the day after I posted here on YouTube, and it's got 58,000 views. So on Facebook, it has 58,000 views. I haven't posted to TikTok yet because actually my phone is completely out. I'm gonna have to get a new phone. I'm gonna have to leave the house today or tomorrow and get a new phone, which sucks. But so that had like TikTok and stuff on it. Maybe I can get it up on my iPad because I'll post it to TikTok. But 58,000 views on Facebook. So once again, as far as the cultist related material goes, and our especially related, well, any type of cultist related material. You can unless you see some of it right here. So if you don't watch the whole thing, but as far as our cultist related material goes, why won't it play? There we go. Facebook has once again been kindest to us. So that's 58,000 organic or algorithmic views, 140 shares, 735 likes. It is Facebook loves it. And that includes, there's like another 48,000 views on the original sour cream and onion. So Facebook doesn't have a problem with it, with our cultist material. So yeah, it has been. So we'll see what happens on TikTok. if I can get it loaded up there. I need to do that. I just make a note of that. Maybe you need to download TikTok on that iPad so I can do it. Post sour cream to TikTok. So there we go. So check it out. Let's see. Okay, so that's the word Muppet. I think I had so that the word Muppet is on the like a Muppet parody or something like that. I think that is on the Cthulhu ABCs. But I've got a couple of other parody videos like that to do. In fact, I started working on those lyrics last night. I've got a specific parody of I don't even know what type of song it is for the witches to do. Maybe you will know what music video I'm going to see if I can do a parody with it. I might not be able to parody it because of content restrictions. The AI generators have. I had a lot of problems with that with the goth witches that I was trying to generate. I don't know. We will see. But okay, so I think we need to go on to our main topic. So that was a brief Kickstarter update. I will send out a Kickstarter update soon, an official Kickstarter update soon, as well as emails. Talked about the music video release, showed the interior. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so I'm going to take this down. We'll breathe and sip, and then I'm going to bring up our main topic for today, which is the Age of Fantasy Skirmish, which I saw that BGD said that he liked, and I have not seen any of it yet. This is the Age of Fantasy Skirmish. I've got no, that says just Age of Fantasy Quick Start. I got Beginner's Guide and I got Core Rules. We'll look at the difference between those things. But hey, yes, we need to breathe and sip. So let's call for a breathe. Let's do a breathe and sip. I've got ice water again this morning in the Witch's Brew mug. So let's breathe and sip. Let's take 2 deep breaths, then complete exhales, and then take a sip of our favorite beverage this morning. So here we go. And sip. There we go. All right, let's bring up Age of Fantasy Skirmish. So this says right here, this says it's the beginner's guide, which I noticed the beginner's guide is longer than the core rules. So the core rules must be like, as far as the PDF document goes. So the core rules must be just like the actual like meaty part of the rules stripped out of this. But this says beginner's guide. So, okay, let's look at the beginner's guide. Oh, Sable says there's a new Mecha Skirmish game that I missed the Kickstarter for, but I do occasionally see the email newsletter from its creator. It's called Mac Attack. I'll probably get it once it becomes available for general purchase. That'd be fun to check out here too. Yeah, I don't play a lot of mech games and don't know much about them, but they seem fun. Okay, so Age of Fantasy. On a wounded world, new realms struggle to survive over the ashes of old empires. The human empire fell when the world became beneath it cracked. In an instant, its ancient capital and last emperor were swallowed into the earth and lost forever. A massive wound now cuts through the continent, winding and splitting the land itself. It's an age of war in the lands of Tyria, where the peace and order of the last era have collapsed and new powers have begun to emerge. A vast land of many peoples and kingdoms, no corner of Tyria has been left completely untouched by the opening of the Great Rift. Demonic howls haunt the land from the frigid north to the once peaceful elven shores. In the western steppes, dwarven berserkers bring the fire and fury of their new gods to bear against the thick armor of their orcish foes. While beneath the sea, ancient powers, once driven into hiding, now plot their return to a now weakened and fractured surface. On the southern desert, even death offers no escape for the cursed souls of the people there. As all of this unfolds, they have begun to pour into Tyria from different places of existence. Civilizations once lost have returned under new gods, while others have become unbidden to hunt the demons plaguing Tyria. Strange and fantastic creatures have arrived as well, intent on carrying out their own goals, only vaguely understood by the people of Tyria. It is a time of unworldly monsters, legendary heroes, and unlikely alliances. In an era of wonders and ambitions, as well as calamity and horror. How will you forge the path in this age of fantasy? So, yeah, well, that's kind of what I thought. So Mike says the core rules fit on one page as advertised by the company name. So that's kind of what I thought the situation was. I was kind of surprised that the beginner's guide had so much. That the core rules is just a 2-page PDF, front and back. So one page. There you go. Uh, 28 millimeters. We've got 4 sections here: basic rules, advanced rules, total conversions, rules that radically modify the base game to provide a new experience, and then additional content. I don't know anything about Tyria, Tyria. Because I don't know Guild Wars. Okay. The most important rules: use common sense. Roll a die on a roll of 1 to 3. Player. Okay, so roll a die if you're unclear about the rules. The game was written to be played with 32 millimeter scale models, which are mounted on round bases. A cavalry goes on 40 millimeter tall. 40 millimeter tall cavalry goes on 60 millimeter oval bases. But keep base size consistent across all models. The base size itself doesn't matter. Okay, so we've got unit stats here. Oh, Stray gifted a membership. Let's see. Let me go over here. Oh, you know what? I should give out some memberships because we've got people here that are that might have come over from the Reddit channel, from the Reddit subreddit. The Reddit subreddit. I posted to the miniature skirmish games that we were going to be looking at this morning. So if you're here, Reddit, welcome. Let's see. So Zachary Schmidt received a membership from Stray. Thank you very much, Stray. Let me see if I can. Oh, not that. I will send 5 now. Let's see who gets them. Let's send out 5. I forgot to do that in a while. Taco Loco 787, Lord Lawless. We know Lord Lawless. WL, Dragon Pulp, and Wayne Finicum. I think we've seen Wayne around. So Mini Warmut. Hey, Mini Warmut. Mini Warmut says Age of Fantasy Quest. Age of Fantasy Quest is their RPG-like game. Really? I'm not up on one-page rules as much as I should be. One-page Fantasy Quest. Oh, Age of Fantasy Quest. Huh. Well, we did a lot of looking at Quest games a few months ago. So I didn't know they had done that. Man, they've got a lot of stuff apparently, and so I guess I just have not been up on everything One Page has been doing. Age of Fantasy Quest. They've got a free starter set or something there too. Okay, well, thank you for letting me know about that. we may need to check it out. Okay, so unit stats. Units come with a variety of statistics that define who they are and what they can do. The name and size, the name and number of models, the quality, the score needed for attacks and morale, defense, the score needed for defense, equipment, any weapons and gear the unit has, special rules, any special rules the unit has, cost, how many points it costs to take this unit. Dice. Oh, I think also Mike had said something about, so this PDF, the one that I'm looking at, has the basic rules, which are the first 15 pages of the advanced rules. Okay, yes. So this is because the starter guide, so it's just the basic, not the advanced. May end up being worth the $5. So dice, I'm kind of going through the basic stuff that we is kind of standard fast. So we're going to be using D6s here. We need at least 10 to 20 of them. We can roll D3s, 2D6, and D6 plus 1. Reroll. Rerolls can only be rerolled once. Whenever a rule tells you to roll off, all players involved in the roll off must take one die and then compare the results. The player with the highest wins. A quality test. During the game, you'll be required to take quality tests in order to see if a model succeeds at doing things, such as hitting its target or passing morale tests. Whenever a rule states that a unit must take a quality test, roll one die. If you roll the quality value or higher, then it counts as a success. Else it counts as a failure. So we're going number, value, or higher. So example, a model with a quality of 4 must take 3 quality tests. The player rolls 3 dice and scores 3, 4, and 5. The model gets 2 successes and 1 fail. All right. Pretty basic. Modifiers. We can modify dice rolls. However, the roll of a 6 always counts as a success, and the roll of a 1 always counts as a failure, regardless of how much is being modified by. So if you're taking a quality 4 test with a -1 modifier and you score 3, 4, and 5, the final results are 2, 3, and 4. All makes sense. Minnie Warmutt says, you can create your characters on their Army Forge. Free to use and very cool. Click on the Age of Fantasy Quest, scroll down and click on Make Your Heroes. Boom, and have a blast. Huh. Strike says, BGD costs 1,050 points to field. They're an absolute unit. Weapons. Okay, all weapons in the game are separated into 2 categories, ranged weapons and melee weapons. Ranged weapons have ranged values that can be used for shooting, while melee weapons don't have a ranged value, can be used for melee. So weapon profiles are represented by name, range, attack, special rules. Like example, heavy rifle, 24 inches, A1, AP1. So heavy rifle, 24 inches, A1 must be attack 1, AP1 must be like armor piercing or something. Kind of strange they've got heavy rifle here in the fantasy rules. Measuring distances, we're measuring things on with rulers again, I see. When measuring the distances between 2 models, you must always measure to and from the closest point on their bases. When measuring the distance between 2 units, you must always measure from or to the closest model in each unit. Distances are usually measured from the model's base. However, if a model has no base, then players must agree to where the distances are measured, like their hull or torso. Okay. And which usually ignores decorative elements. Okay. When measuring how far a model moves, always measure so that no part of the base moves further than the total distance. So like front to front or back to back. Line of sight. When playing the game, line of sight is used to determine if a model can see other models for other purposes. Simply get down to eye level of the miniature. See, this is the part that I don't like with these, which is the problem that we designed in Cantress. And we were talking about the last game. We were wondering, can it be played on squares or hexes or something like that? I generally prefer hexes because like my brother and I were starting to work on Enchantress. Originally, we were going to do it by measuring things out. So, but like the very first time we started, I pulled out the ruler and then had to like sit up or get off my chair or something like that to see if how to move something around something. And we're like, exactly. That's wrong. No, we don't want people to have to do that. And like, also, I don't want, in order to judge line of sight, can this model see another one? Here, let me get down. Get down here to the model's level, like get down on the table. When I'm writing rules, I would like, okay, we need a way of line of sight that I can actually be sitting here at the table and adjudicate line of sight. I don't actually have to like get down on the floor to determine to look at the eye level of my miniatures. I don't know why more people don't do that. Because counting hexes is just, to me, it's just easier. I mean, I played a lot of things with the measuring the ruler. Like we've done like tons of Warhammer and stuff. I've done it. But especially for anything more casual. Now, I understand when you're getting into a much more advanced wargaming that having the like radius, the measures on the circles for the, the around the circumference, so you can measure turning radius and things like that, that I understand in it more advanced war games. Or a laser pointer. Sable says a laser pointer is a great way to. Another thing you've got to have though. Whereas if you're in hexes, if you measure, you just specify what part of the hexes you do the line for, and if it doesn't cross another hex or something, then they've got line of sight. So this does say if the target is visible, then it has line of sight. Models can always see in all directions, regardless of the miniature of where the miniature is actually facing. Always have line of sight to themselves and may always target themselves unless stated otherwise. Once again, it doesn't look like, at least here in the base rules, we have facing. Facing seems like something that's been sort of done away with. I mean, I haven't seen facing in a game that we've read like this in a long time. Models can't see through solid obstacles, including the perimeter of other units, friendly or enemy, but they can always see through friendly models from their own unit. Note that four players may agree. I don't think that 4 is supposed to be there. Note that players may agree to ignore unusual features like decorative banners or flame effects for a line of sight. This is played on a 4x4 area. Enemies deployed 24 inches apart. Bring at least 20 pieces of terrain to it, though we recommend using 25 or more to keep things interesting. While it's always nice to play with great-looking pieces of terrain, you can simply use household items like books or cups as terrain. There's no specific rules on how you should place terrain, but we have provided some general guidelines in the terrain section of the book to help you get started. I remember the red stick too. The red stick, yes, exactly. I have exactly the same memory. The Warhammer, the edition that I played, came with the red sticks too. I remember the little red stick that came with Necromunda, Stray says. My older brother used to hit me with it. It's like being slapped with a Slim Jim. The thing hurt. Placing objectives. After the table has been prepared, you and your opponent must set up D3 plus 2 objectives on the battlefield. The players roll off and the winner picks who places the first objective marker. Then the players alternate in placing one marker outside the deployment zones and over 9 inches from other markers. Note that markers can't be placed in unreachable positions like impassable terrain or spots too tight to get to. At the end of each round, if a unit is within 3 inches of a marker while no enemies are, then it counts as being seized. Markers remain seized even if the enemy moves away, but units from both sides contest a marker. But if units from both sides contest a marker at the end of a round, then it becomes neutral again. After 4 rounds have been played, the game ends, and the player that controls the most marker wins. Note that unless stated otherwise, players don't ever win the game by fully destroying an opponent's force. Okay, we're doing point size armies here, or we're basing our skirmish forces around points. So we say we start with a recommended. For a start, we recommend playing with armies worth 150 points each. And once you've gotten familiar with the game, you can start playing full matches with 250. To put together your army list, simply select units and upgrades from one or more armies of your choice and sum together their total point cost. There's no limitation as to how many units you can take so long as their point cost doesn't go over the agreed total. Optionally, you and your opponent may agree to use the force organization rules, which help makes the army composition more consistent and balanced. Armies may follow these limitations. Only one hero per 125 points, only 1 plus X copies of the same unit where X is 1 per 250 points. No single unit worth over 35% of the total points, only one unit per 25 points, only one model per 15 points. Okay, I'd have to work all of that math out. But it says, example, when playing a 250-point game, players may bring maximum of 2 heroes, maximum of 3 copies of each unit, no unit worth over 85 points max, 10 units in total, and maximum 16 models in total. Okay, so that's 1 model per 15 points, so 16 models in total. Deploy armies up to 12 inches from your table's edge, rolling off, going back and forth. Let's see. Playing the game. So the Army Forge simplifies this a great deal. So that's like what Warmutt was just talking about, but I think for the other one. But here, just being able to build out your unit, build out your army online to all of the specifications. That's an advantage to something like Great Helm that we were looking at. It was just grab models and what you see is what you get, rather than having to go through the army building thing. So playing the game. After both players have deployed their armies, the game starts with the first round, and the player that won the deployment roll takes the first turn. During their turn, the player picks a unit that has not been activated yet and activates it by performing an action. Once the action has been taken, their turn ends and the opposing player starts. This continues until all units have activated, at which point the round ends and a new round begins. On each new round, the player that finished activating first on the last round gets to activate first. So we're going back and forth classically here, so we don't have any kind of the, shall we say, innovative kind of thing that War Machine was doing. Great Helm. Excuse me, why did I say War Machine? What Great Helm was doing, where you have different initiative values and all of that. So this is just back and forth for 4 rounds. Players must activate 1 unit that has not been activated yet and must take one of the following actions. Hold, doesn't move, can shoot. Advance, moves 6 inches and can shoot after moving. Rush, moves 12 inches but can't shoot. Charge, move 12 inches into melee. Note that the advanced rush and charge actions may sometimes be referred to as move actions. Models may move and turn in any direction regardless of their facing, so long as no part of their bases moves further than the total movement distance. Models may never be within 1 inch of models from other units unless they are taking a charge action, and may never move through other models or units, friendly or enemy, even if they are taking a charge action. Note that models may never move outside of the battlefield, no part of them at any point, or be placed in physically impossible locations. When taking a hold action, the model in the unit may not move, but may freely move to turn any direction, but may freely turn to face any direction. But didn't we say that facing didn't really matter? I think we did. Yeah, Mike says that's true. Great Helm and the other one we have looked at made army composition easier. I would guess the advantage of this is to get an army just like you want it. It depends on, which can be its own part of the hobby, but I guess it depends on what you're trying to do and what you want your hobby to be. Advancing. When taking an advance action, all models in the unit may move up to 6 inches. Rushing, 12 inches. Charging. When taking a charge action, all models in the unit may move up to 12 inches, trying to reach base contact with one enemy unit and may ignore the 1-inch distance restriction. Units may only take a charge action if at least one model is within charge distance of the targeting unit. So this does talk a lot about units here. So it's not clear to me, because we haven't looked at the army composition, that everything is not necessarily an individual character. Stray says facing, I think, is free, but being like flanked and stuff is problematic. Well, yeah, I haven't seen, but I guess when people, or I talk about facing directions, that typically, to me, indicates like the flank or rear of a unit, which can be important. But some things handle flanking a different way. Like was that 5th edition D&D thing, where if you if you're being attacked by 2, your facing doesn't matter, but if you've got 2 people on opposite sides of you, then you're flanked. So there are, I guess, ways to do it that don't rely on facing. Charge moves don't have to be in a straight line, and if being within charge distance becomes impossible due to killed models or whatever, the unit may complete its move in any direction and end its activation. So this is, once again, Minnie Warmite says individual character play is in the Quest games. So, okay, so this is all using Skirmish. I guess that's another thing that, like, the difference between Skirmish games and Warband games. I kind of thought that Skirmish games would not have units, but I guess they could. Small units. I guess they could. I guess a Warband game would not be individuals. I mean, excuse me, not be units. I guess I would be expecting a Warband game to be individuals. I guess I'm expecting a Skirmish game to be 2, but I guess it doesn't have to be. So again, conversation between what's the difference between a Warband game and a Skirmish game. So unit coherency. So we're using small units here. All models in a unit must stay within 1 inch of another model and must stay within 6 inches of the other models, forming an uninterrupted chain of models in 1 inch coherency with each other. If a model is not in coherency with its unit at the beginning of its activation, then you must take an action so the model gets back into coherency. So this is a coherent unit right here. This is not a coherent unit. Shooting. Mike says 15 models could have 3 or 5 or some other combination, like of different units. Picking targets. I guess that also makes it go faster with your activations. You're activating a unit rather than an individual warrior. Picking targets. When making a shooting action, a unit must pick one valid target and all models in the unit must shoot at it. If at least one model in the unit has line of sight to an enemy model and has a weapon that is within range of that model, then the enemy target is valid. Who can shoot? All models in the unit with line of sight to the target and that have a weapon that is within range of it may fire at it. Note that weapon models will may always ignore friendly models from their own unit when determining line of sight. Example here, only the marksman in the middle can shoot at the skeletons. Well, it is not clear to me what those, which of these are skeletons, but I guess these are skeletons over here. I guess looking at this with a more critical eye, I guess they are skeletons from the top down. That is not very clear. Whereas these looks like guys with rifles. Only the marksman in the middle can shoot at the skeletons. The model at the top is in range but has no line of sight, while the bottom has line of sight but is out of range. They're just putting in distances here. This is greater than 24 inches. It doesn't look like that to scale. Multiple weapon types. If a unit is firing with multiple weapon types, then you may separate each weapon type into its own weapon group. Each group may be fired at a different target. However, you may fire only at up to 2 different targets, and all weapons from the same group may fire at the same target. Note that the target for each weapon group must be declared before rolling, and all weapons are fired simultaneously. So example, a unit of marksmen is armed with rifles and a sniper rifle. Since it has 2 weapon types, the marksman can fire all the rifles at nearby skeletons unit and the sniper rifle at a distant skeleton champion. So separate each weapon type into its own group and roll for them. I guess that's the key takeaway there. Because again, I thought that multiple weapon types, I thought that was, okay, what if everybody in the unit is carrying multiple weapons? But this is actually talking about more like a Warhammer 40K scenario, which I didn't really play a lot of 40K, very little actually, but where some people in the group have, or unit have one type of weapon and others have others. Stray says, I don't care for squad coherency in Warband, but in Skirmish, I don't mind it much, keeping things neat. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that when we talked about the difference. But Yeah, I mean, like Middle Earth battle game, the Middle Earth strategy battle game, which was more like skirmish stuff. That didn't have unit coherency in it. That one didn't have units. I think it was all basic models. Sable Phoenix says one-page rules was started to make 40K simpler. I thought that it had its roots in that kind of thing. That it wasn't originally fantasy. It was based off of, it was for the sci-fi stuff, which kind of explains the reasons we have the different examples that we have here. The shooting sequence. Shooting is done in a simple sequence which has to be followed separately for each weapon group. Determine attacks, roll to hit, roll to block, check wound effects. Determine attacks. Sum the attack value from the weapons of all models that can shoot at the target to determine how many attacks the unit has in total for the shooting. So the marksman is shooting at the skeleton. He's armed with a rifle, attack 1, and is within range and line of sight of the skeleton, which means he has a total of 1 attack for the shooting. Roll to hit. After having determined how many attacks the unit has in total, take as many quality tests as attacks. Each successful roll is a hit. So we got a marksman of only quality 5+. He rolled a 6, so he hit. Rolled a block. For each hit the unit has taken, the defending player may roll a die, trying to score the target's defense value. Each success counts as a blocked hit, and for each failed roll, place 1 wound marker on the model. So the skeleton is defense 5, takes 1 hit, rolls a 4, says taken 1 wound. See wound effects page to how to resolve wounds. Okay, it looks like we're going to melee before we go to wounds. There is a lot here. Okay, let's see. Okay, it looks like we can get through. I don't know if we need to go through terrain, but let's go through the melee, which I could say we probably basically understand, but then see how it handles wounds. So, charging. Pick a valid target, blah, blah, up to 12 inches to get into base contact with the enemy unit, or as close as possible while still maintaining unit coherency. Once all the charging models have moved, all models from the target unit that are not in base contact with the charging model must move by up to 3 inches to get into base contact with the charging model, or as close as possible maintaining unit coherency. So charging models must move up to 12 inches to get into base contact with an enemy model from the target unit, or as close as possible while maintaining unit coherency. Remember, you don't have to charge in a straight line. Once all the charging models have moved, all models from the target unit that are not in base contact with the charging model may move up to 3 inches to get into base contact. So that's like an additional move, an extra 3 inches. Once one of your unit models in your unit have contacted another, then get them in. No, that's the target unit. That's the target unit. We're seeing that right here. So this looks like swordsman right here is charging these skeletons. So there were 2 skeletons here. It looks like this guy, that's not actually in base contact. But maybe this guy came up and got into base contact with this guy. None of those guys look like they're in base contact as far as the example goes here. But that's the target unit. The target unit that are not in base contact with the charging model. So that's not a free move. That's not extra space by the attacker, like I just said. It is a movement by the defender to get into base-to-base contact. I think if I meant these guys to be in base-to-base contact, I would have put them in base-to-base contact with this example here. Who can strike? All models that are within 2 inches horizontally and 4 inches vertically of an enemy model from the target unit may attack it. Okay, I take that back. I guess we didn't understand it intuitively how combat was going to work here. So all models, so maybe that's why they don't have to be in physical contact here. Because it says who can strike? All models that are within 2 inches horizontally and 4 inches vertically of an enemy model from the target unit may attack it. Models must strike it with all of their melee weapons and may only strike at models from the target unit. So here, this guy can strike. So I guess this guy, we're talking about this guy here can strike this guy, but not that guy because he's outside of 2 inches. BGD says, Age of Fantasy Skirmish has free downloadable lists for a dozen or 2 dozen different factions of each unit, each with enough variety and distinctive elements to be easy to match to almost any set of models you'd like to use. That might have been part of what I downloaded here. There was several different things that downloaded with this PDF. Melee sequence, determine hits, roll to attack, roll to block, check wounds effect. So determine attacks. Sum the attack value from the weapons of all models that can strike at the target to determine how many attacks the unit has in total for this melee. So if an infantryman is charging a skeleton, he is armed with a hand weapon, 1 attack, is within range of the skeleton, he has 1 attack. Roll to hit. After having determined how many attacks the unit has in total, take as many quality tests as attacks. Successful ones count as a hit. Roll to block. For every unit that the enemy has taken, the defending player must roll 1 die, scoring the defense value. So that part's very similar, like I think we were expecting. Resolve wounds. But we do have return strikes here. Once all charging models have attacked, the defending unit may choose to strike back, following the melee sequence again, but doesn't have to. Note that striking back does not count as its activation, and activated units may strike back. So they do get a counter swing here. Fatigue. After attacking in melee for the first time during a round, either by charging or by charging back, units only hit on unmodified rolls of 6 in melee until the end of that round. Oh, after charging in melee for the first time during a round, either by charging or by striking back, units only hit on unmodified 6s. Oh, that's interesting. So that's difficult. It makes it more difficult to hit things when you're coming in on a charge instead of easier with your momentum coming in. Checking wound effects. Whenever a model has taken at least 1 wound, the defender must roll 1 die and add the number of wound markers on it and check to see what happens. Oh, so we're counting up here. So roll a die, add your wound markers. 1 to 5 is shaken, gets +1 wound effect rolls. One to 5, they're shaken. Gets +1 to wound effect rolls. Must stay idle, counts as fatigued. Always fails morale tests and can't contest or seize objectives. When activated, must spend its activation being idle and doing nothing, which stops it from being shaken at the end of the activation. Okay, so we don't have falling down, but okay, they are shaken. How do you note +1? That's not a +1 wound, but it'll be +1 to wound effects while the shaken effect is on them. When activated, must spend its activation, which that would go away. Counts as fatigued. I'm not sure that's someplace. And always fails morale tests. And then if it's 6+, you're knocked out. The model is removed from play. So note that units must also check for wounding effects when taking wounds from other sources, such as special terrain, etc. So a skeleton has just taken 1 wound and must now check its effect. It rolls 1 die and gets a 5 and adds +1 because it has 1 wound. The final roll is a 6, and so that model is knocked out. When a unit with multiple models takes wounds, each wound immediately kills 1 model. When a unit with multiple models takes wounds, each wound immediately kills 1 model until only 1 last model remains. Only the last model then accumulates wound markers and rolls to see if it's shaken or knocked out. Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's different. So you're not doing so. I think I would have written that first. So an example, a unit of 3 skeletons, because we're talking about units here, a unit of 3 skeletons has taken 3 wounds. So it first removes 2 models as casualties and then puts 1 wound marker on the last model and rolls to check the wound's effects. Okay. BGD says there's enough meat on these bones to obviate any strong need to build your own custom lists for the minis that you have, which makes the whole system a lot easier for newcomers to play with what they have. And the system is easy to learn, fun, and sufficiently sophisticated to maintain interest. Wait, Mike says, so if you have not activated, you might not want to strike back? Yeah, no. So note that striking back does not count as its activation, and activated units may strike back. So that's just like a response to their turn, a response to the enemy's turn. They came in for melee. That makes sense. But we do have these different kinds of rules for the last person in the unit. Consolidation moves. In melee, if one of the two units was destroyed, removed all models as casualties, then the other may move up to 3 inches. If neither of the units was destroyed, then the charging unit must move back 1 inch. Oh, you're separating yourself to keep a separation between units clear and show they are not locked in melee. But you told me that I have to roll a 6 when I'm charging in order to hit, and I have to have 6s rolled against me by the defender. Maybe you don't have to charge again? If you're moved back 1 inch, maybe you're still, it says you are not locked in melee, but can you still activate an attack next round? I guess you can. Because what does it say up here? I mean, you don't, okay, so you don't have to be touching in order to strike. It just says when taking it says pick melee, picking targets. When taking a charge action, a unit must pick one valid target and charge it. So we start by talking about melee with the charge. But maybe down here, maybe this is it. All models that are within 2 inches horizontally and 4 inches vertically of an enemy model may attack it. So if you move back and separate yourself by 1 inch, I guess you can make melee attacks and not charge. At the end of the round, that's my best understanding at the moment anyway. Morale tests. At the end of each round, if an army is down to half or less of its starting units, then all units must take a morale test. Note that starting size is counted at the beginning of the game. So a human empire army started the game with 5 units and is down to 2 units at the end of a round. So all the units must take morale tests at the end of all the rounds. Taking morale tests. To take a morale test, the affected units simply must take one regular quality test and see what happens. Passed, nothing happens. Failed, the unit is shaken. If the test has failed and the unit was already shaken, the unit routs. Routed units. Routed units have lost all hope and are taken captive, flee the battle, or otherwise rendered ineffective. Simply remove the entire unit from the game as a casualty. So a human empire army with 5 units has lost 3 units, and the remaining 2 units must take a morale test. They each take a morale test and pass, so they get to continue fighting. Then we do have terrain rules here. Special rules. Command groups. Special rules reference. Ambush. AP, that's armor piercing. Fearless flying. So a lot of our psychology in there. Immobile, Strider, tough. Where was, I bet fatigued is back here. No, didn't we say something was fatigued? This is our special rules reference. Something counts as fatigued when it's wounded. I don't see that. Special movement, jumping. So what's next? This says go to the advanced rule book. I don't know about this one. Okay, so fatigued does have to do with impact X, roll X dice when attacking after charging unless fatigued. For each 2+, the target takes 1 hit. Reliable. Model attacks at quality 2+ with weapons. Note that reliable only changes the quality value, so the roll can still be modified. Fatigue still applies. Well, what's fatigue? The only that we're looking at shaken gets +1 wound effect rolls, must stay idle, counts as fatigued, always fails morale tests, and can't contest or seize objectives. I don't know. Hey, Craig. Good morning. Great to see you. Let's see. So no, Sable says no. Unmodified sixes are only used after the unit's first attack activation. Charges and retaliations count as an attack activation. In other words, the rule exists to prevent charging units from taking a full strength retaliation and then another full strength attack on the subsequent turn. The rules exist to prevent a charging unit from taking a full strength retaliation and then another full strength attack at the subsequent turn. Okay. So if if I charge into a unit, so I activate my unit, I charge into the unit, I have to roll sixes in order to hit. They retaliate. They have to roll sixes to hit. Now it's my opponent's turn, and he activates that unit that I am in melee with. They now attack at full strength. Stray says, if there's an inch between, can you shoot into the unit next round? I didn't see anything about a limit on. It just says line of sight. If a weapon has a range on it, you may fire at it. And if you're within it, you may fire at it. Page 9 has fatigue. So I don't see anything about minimum range. Page 9. Let's go look. So I must have gone by it. Page 9. Oh, right here. So did I just skip by this? Fatigue. Okay. After attacking in melee for the first time during a round, either by charging or by striking, units only hit on unmodified rolls of 6 in melee until the end of that round. After attacking in melee for the first time during a round, either by charging or by striking back, units only hit on unmodified rolls of 6s in melee until the end of that round. I don't know. I'm not feeling this one. So fatigue is another one. So we just know that well, I don't know. After attacking melee for the first time during a round, either by attack. So if I charge, I got to hit 6+. If I strike back, I got to hit 6+, the charging unit. Now we're fatigued, and we roll unmodified rolls of 6s for melee until the end of the round. Is that in case I get an extra attack or something? Because it's only for the extra round. Mini War Mutt says fatigue happens after melee. You can fight while fatigued, but must roll a 6. Oh, Sable says I have that inverted. No, you have that inverted. The first attack is made at full strength, and only subsequent activations only hit a natural 6s. Well, I don't know where I read that made me think we were going the other way then. Let's see. So it's normally a quality test. Who can strike? These are short rules, but why can't I find the rules that I was trying to look for? Let's see. Mike says, when you charge, you attack at full strength. Subsequent to that, you are all 6s. Oh, is that? Well, where is that explained? I swear I read something about charging and attacking all sixes. But now I can't find it, which is aggravating. Consolidation moves. It's not here. I don't know where to find it. But Sable confirms this as Mike says. Sable says, if you try activating more than one attack per round, any activations after the first need a natural 6/6. Says if you charge, you hit normally. If you retaliate, you hit normally. Then if you try attacking again that same round, it's nat 6s. Does anybody have the page where this is on? Okay, no, that's fatigue. That's the fatigue. After attacking in melee for the first time during a round. Okay. So this is either by charging or striking back, units only hit an unmodified roll of 6s at the end of melee. So return strikes. Once all charging models have attacked, the defending unit may choose to strike back following the melee sequence again, but doesn't have to. Note that striking back does not count as an activation, and activated units may strike back. But after attacking in melee for the first time during a round, either by charging or striking back, units only hit the unmodified rolls of 6s in melee until the end of that round. Successful hits depend on that character's quality number, right? So now this is saying, so if I attack in with the swordsman, I charge in, I get full strength attacks. The skeletons get to retaliate full strength. And then on the next turn, my opponent activates those skeletons, but they have to hit on a 6. Is that what's going on? I don't know where what I read was that made me think differently. So during that round, if the skeletons had retaliated, then they want to activate and fight me, then they roll on a 6. I think I got it. Stray says, I might actually unpack some old models for this. That or kit bash some Skaven. Yeah, I've probably got enough models laying around to do that. So Mike says, I confused the fatigue rules for the attack rules. Maybe I did. I thought I swore I read something about charging in with a 6. But now I can't find it. So, all right. New turn, is it new turn or new round? Because it says that there's a difference between game structure, rounds. Each round is made up of multiple turns. Each turn is made up of a single activation. Each activation is made of a single action. So it sounds like at the end of the round, you're back to full strength, not at the end of the turn. Yeah, new round. Yeah. Craig says fatigue rules can be so tiresome. Yeah, so it's the retaliation that is that's throwing the kink in that, and why they are trying to have something else in there. Because that's in there, that's like, and of course, like I said, I haven't played a lot of 40K, so I can't speak to that. But in the Warhammer Fantasy Battles that we used to play, yeah, if you melee, then you charge in, you attack, and then the opponent counters after that. I mean, the opponent will probably lose some models, but then counters, right? Counter attacks right then, but they still remain in melee, right? And then on the next turn, when the melee phase comes up, they attack in order of initiative values, right? In skirmish games, I don't remember having that. Like in Mordheim, you make an attack against someone, and then I think on the next turn, that it would have to be the opponent's turn before they could attack again. That keeps this situation you guys were talking about from happening. Minnie says, I think you will enjoy the quest version, campaigning and progressing, leveling up, etc. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I really like, I played tons of Hero Quest. And we went over Advanced Hero Quest and Warhammer Quest and things like that over here. So I would be interested to look at this. I'm not sure this. I don't think this particular one is exactly what I'm looking for in a skirmish game. I mean, maybe I should take a look at the advanced rules and things like that too. But this one might not be exactly like if I were trying to do like a Rabavania version of a skirmish game. I don't think I would base it off of these rules at the moment. Hey, Doc. Doc came in here at the end. Okay, well, I guess that about wraps this up. So I will. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to see you by the updates on the Kickstarter page, maybe some emails. Do check out the re-release of You Can't Summon Cthulhu with Sour Cream and Onion, completely updated. If you like dancing goth witches, well, I got plenty of them. Otherwise, I am going to, I guess, work on Kickstarter stuff. So I will see you later. Have a wonderful day. Go forth, be creative, and be constructive.